What's happening, everyone? John Hendricks here for Boot Crew Media, coming at you with another episode of The Drive presented by Royal Honda. Well, it's Monday. It's August 1st. We just got done with the fifth day of Saints training camp on Monday, and obviously it did not disappoint. Pads came on, a lot of hits, physicality, all sorts of good stuff that happened. So let's start with, I guess, the really good. Paulson Adebo, man, he is. We talked about him the other day about how he's kind of shining at camp. Man, today he looked fantastic. That's a great sign because I know a lot of people coming in and said, well, you still got Bradley Roby, you got Alontae Taylor, who you drafted, but man, Paulson Adebo has come to play. He's very physical off the line of scrimmage. He's working, doing a lot of jams on these receivers. He's going up against Chris Olave in one-on-ones, Jarvis Landry in one-on-ones, also Traquan Smith, and Traquan's the only one that had it. And even when he got that catch, it was a little bit bobbled, but look, making good reads in 11-on-11 team drills, breaking up a Jameis Winston pass. So this is outstanding news for the Saints. Look, you get some of these second-year guys, you think they're going to take this big leap. Adam Troutman was on last year, and he didn't really do it. But, Paulson Adebo kind of starting alongside our opposite of Marshawn Lattimore. This is a welcome sight so far, and we're 5 days into camp, so I get it. Still early, but it's encouraging to see somebody like Paulson be able to just kind of, grow a little bit. And, every day he's made some big plays on it in practice. And so that's a great takeaway to have. And he's obviously stolen the show so far. So I'd say he's probably had the best camp of anybody, and there's been some good ones. Peyton Turner's looked really good. Michael Thomas is back out in the mix, just other players that have come to play. So, obviously, there's a little bit of concern there as far as attendance goes. Tyrann Mathieu is not at camp. That's been a big issue, big hot button right now. Social media has kind of gone a little bit crazy, formulating their own opinions and stuff. But bottom line is Dennis Allen said after practice that, hey, look, he's handling these personal matters, family matters. And look, they're going to give him the time he needs. And so with that being said, they're anticipating welcoming him back with open arms once he is deciding that he's going to come back and once he's dealt with all of that. So I know a lot of people are concerned there. Pump the brakes just a little bit. Let's see what happens and how everything unfolds. Good news on the injury front. Pete Werner is back at practice today. You also had Juwan Johnson, Bryce Thompson were both back. Thompson had missed some time. He got to him the other day. He was a full go. Pete Werner was starting in walkthroughs, pretty active, not necessarily in the team drills, but, he was still doing some kind of rehab individual work off to the side, but he was in pads. So that's the encouraging news. Same thing with Juwan Johnson. Rashid Shaheed showed up late. So really you were just missing Taysom Hill, Tyrann Mathieu, and then Marcus Davenport. So no real big surprises here on that front. As far as practice, look, getting into pads, that's again, a big first step. And I tell you, I wrote about this on Saints News Network, but just kind of talking a little bit to Landon Young and obviously James Hurst and just kind of what it means for an offensive lineman is that you can kind of go through the motions, but when you're in that split the second decision against the pass rush, that's really when you got the pads on, it allows you to kind of react and do those types of things. And so we really got to see a lot of that today. Trevor Penning, unfortunately struggled a good bit. And, look, he talked to us after practice and he was humble about it. He knows he's getting better. And look, I think the progression is coming. He's had some good reps, but, there was a couple of reps where, whether it was Peyton Turner or if it was Carl Granderson or, potentially, or even if it was Taco Charlton had kind of got the best of him. And so even led to some spirited stuff. Him and Peyton Turner got into it a little bit after a whistle on one of the plays and, nothing big happened after that. But again, you're going to have that animated stuff as we go on. You're in the heat, all that good stuff. The team was indoors for the first 30 minutes and then went outside. Fans were in attendance. So, man, it was a good practice to see, offense a little bit tic-tac there. Jameis Winston struggled a little bit early on. He did rebound a good bit. The one-on-one drills, we finally got to see some defensive back, cornerback, and wide receiver gel mix-ups. And shout out to DeMarcus Fields because he had probably the play of the day is where he literally took an interception away or took a catch away from Kevin White to have an interception. So that was really good to see. Hitting was on display. Demario Davis is doing stuff. Smoke Monday is doing stuff. I mean, it's a really exciting day of training camp, and just being able to see, maybe less than 2 hours, all the stuff that you're able to see, and all the action that goes on. Only 2 periods of 11 on 11, but again, it was good. Other things to think about or take away is that Alvin Kamara was at practice. August 1st was his hearing date. It got pushed back 60 days. So this is something that could potentially linger into next season, or late part of this season. Of course, you got to see how this hearing plays out first. Then there's NFL league discipline. And, obviously there was some other player that made some big news today in his league discipline. And I don't know if you could say that's apples to apples on that as far as comparison goes and such. But, again, we'll see how it plays out one step at a time. That date, if it's 2 months from now, that's October 1st in that time frame. Team's going to be in London. So we'll see how it kind of plays out there. But, I think the big takeaways are pads came on. We'll see more. It'll get more physical. It'll get, even better as we roll along. Was a brief injury scare for Jarvis Landry with his ankle, kind of rolled up a little bit and hobbled after a play, but he ended up being fine coming back. Paulson Adebo's kind of been the star so far of training camp, I would say. And then Trevor Penning, his kind of first outing was a little bit rough, but look, I think it's going to get better as we go along. As always, make sure you tune to Boot Crew Media, all the coverage from Jack Collada, Lala as well, and myself. Check out all my written work at Saints.media is the easiest way you can find me at Saints News Network. And of course, we're going to be here every single day. But guys, appreciate you tuning in. Again, don't forget to give the like, subscribe if you want to see more content. Got more questions, we'll have live Q&A. And the first preseason game's coming right around the corner in Houston. We'll be out there, all that fun stuff, and we'll be in Green Bay as well. So, guys, appreciate you tuning in. Again, I'm John Hendricks for Boot Crew Media. Thanks again to Royal Honda for producing today's show. Have a good one, guys. Be good people.